Just wonder if that's going to dilute the Tonight Show, being him on earlier, because if you see a great guest maybe on Jay's show, why would you stay up to watch the one after?
Yeah, but but on the other hand, Doug, there's got to be an audience because they're putting on shows after them. So
yeah, that's true.
But we shall see whether whether people will watch or not. My hunch is they probably will, except if if the networks have TV is so different now, man. I don't know about you. I have cable. I think you said that you told me before we went on the air that you do as well.
Right.
And I find myself 90% of the time I'm not watching the networks. I'm watching Ice Road Truckers and Deadliest Catch and cooking, and movies. I watch these HBO movies because once you've seen them, they play them for like forever. And I watch movies over and over and over and over again. For some reason, I don't mind. I enjoy. If I like a film, as a matter of fact, right before you called, French Connection is on TV. I own French Connection. That's the real sick thing. And I'm the only guy. I think it's a male thing. I own the disc. I could watch it in perfect clarity, but I'm not. I'm watching it on television.
That's right.
So who knows? Maybe I'm crazy.
Well, I think that broadcasting has become narrowcasting now. It's all niche channels. I think that's where we're headed. I think eventually everybody will just be watching it on their computer, whatever they want.
Getting back to the Bright House On Demand channel, I think is a stroke of genius because you can go on that On Demand channel and you can watch my series. You can watch things that other people have done. You can go to other channels and watch on demand some of the cable channels like A&E On Demand or the Discovery Channel On Demand. And you watch it as you want to. Same thing with news. You just go on your computer. I go to MSN.com. All the news is there. I click on the stories I'm interested in, news or sports. I get video reports as well. And I don't have to sit in front of the set and watch an hour show with commercials and listen to news that I'm not particularly interested in. So, as Bob Dylan said back in the '60s, the times they are a changing, and
right.
They most certainly are. I am probably the first generation of people who remember when there wasn't TV. I can still remember as a teeny little boy, we didn't have a TV set. My mother used to, when I was just crawling around the house, we used to listen to the Arthur Godfrey show on the radio and stuff like that. So TV is still relatively new. So what we were seeing the pioneers. We were seeing the Christopher Columbuses and the Daniel Boones of television. These were the guys. John Cameron Swayze. There's another newscaster who used to smoke Lucky Strike cigarettes. He used to smoke them.
Yeah, right.
This seems like all I'm talking about with you today are cigarettes. But this guy would smoke cigarettes during the newscast. He'd tell a news story and then he'd take a puff and then he'd pause and he'd hold up the pack and he'd advertise. Can you imagine anybody doing that now?
Yeah, Mike Wallace used to do that on his show. Not on the 60 Minutes, but...
And he had a game show, too.
I haven't seen clips of that. I saw clips of the Mike Wallace interview, which I thought he was great. He was kind of Tom Snyder before Tom Snyder. He was hard-hitting.
Mike Wallace. The one-on-one where there was nothing but dark. There was no set.
Two chairs.
He was great. He was
smoke, and I remember one he did with Hugh Hefner. He was really hitting Hugh hard about the new Playboy magazine that he just put out. It was great. I think we're in a revolutionary time as far as media goes, Bill, as you know. Doing the on-demand, who would have thought of that 10 or 15 years ago, that you could even do something like that? Now, people can just go on their computer and pick what they want. So I think it'll shake out. The best will still rise to the top, but it's an exciting time, but maybe a little turbulent as far as the advertising goes. That's the tough part right now.
Well, it's also tough for people who work in the industry. You keep hearing these rumors that, I was told by someone who really is in the know that he said to me about 5 years ago that within the next 10 years there would be only 2 stations doing local news in Tampa, that the pie has been cut so many times between cable and now the computer and on-demand stuff that you don't, these stations, it's very expensive to own a television station and run a station, and especially a news operation with all those reporters and anchors and camera people, and even though they're automating a lot of it, so as you said, it's a turbulent time and it's shaking out. Radio is the same way. I don't know what the statistics are, but they say that 90-some-odd%
local programming on radio is really very frustrating. Nothing wrong with syndicated shows, but you can't be all syndicated.
I agree. But we shall just have to wait and see how it ultimately all shakes out. And in the meantime, I'll be watching Deadliest Catch on Ice Road.
That's right. Well, Bill, it's always good to catch up with you. Give out your website, Bill. I know people want to get a hold of you, maybe send you an email or find out what you're doing. What's your website?
My website is travelswithmurphy.com, and it's really a very, very basic website. Right now it only has a little bit on it, but it will at least give you the opportunity to click on it to email me directly if you like. I still keep thinking that there's another travel book in me which will be titled Travels with Murphy. It'll be, in the same vein as the One Tank Trip books were. Now all I have to do is write it.
Well, we'll look forward to that when it comes out. And Bill, we won't wait a year and a half before our next visit, but appreciate you joining us today. But thanks for being with us.
Doug, always a pleasure. Thank you.